Hey y'all, welcome back to the Lavender Book Company. We're doing a Q&A. So on Instagram, I had asked everyone if they wanted to see a day in the life or a Q&A, and it was overwhelming that everyone wanted to have a Q&A. So I had everyone submit some questions in. So I'll be answering your guys' questions. I will see how much time I have. My son is finishing up his show, so I'll try to answer as many as I can. So let's go ahead and answer some questions. So like I said, so these were submitted in on Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, I definitely would. That's definitely the site that I'm most active on, I guess. So definitely follow me over there. You'll see other content that you just won't see here. I try to kind of separate out the content between my platforms so it's not just the same exact thing kind of posted across. I would love to have you over there. And also, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Kat. I am a children's book author and illustrator. And just here, I'm giving a behind the scenes on creating children's books, what it's like to have a small business, and all that kind of fun stuff wrapped under that. So if that does sound interesting to you, I would love for you to subscribe. I'd love to have you around. I think we'd have a lot of fun. So in no particular order, I'm just gonna jump right into this. So the first question is, how is self-publishing really? So after kind of being on social media now for a while and kind of being able to see a lot of other self-publishers in the space, I think a lot of people try to romanticize the idea. And while I do think that there are tons of pros to self-publishing, there are pros and cons to all of it. So I would just say, be prepared. If you do decide to go down the self-publishing route, be prepared to do a lot of homework. I would be very, very diligent on researching who you even want to print your books with and things like that. That's something that I was very particular on, was because I really wanted a certain quality of books. And I also was trying to work with as many smaller family owned companies as I can. So even with my book here, I was very particular in having the gold foil lettering. I was very particular about the paper that I wanted to use and things like that. So I would definitely, everyone has their own preferences and their own tastes. So I would just make sure to do your homework on things like that. And I would also make sure to be prepared. If you decide to go to the self-publishing route, you become your own marketer. So you do have to spend a lot of time and energy putting into marketing your own book because you're the only one doing it. And even if you go traditional publishing, there's really no guarantee that they're going to put a ton of energy into your own book. So just because you've signed. So there's definitely pros and cons to all of it. I would definitely say with self-publishing, there's a lot more legwork that you have to do, but thanks to social media, it's really kind of blown the doors off for people. And I would definitely say, don't take a back seat. Don't expect things to kind of just come to you. I've spent time researching into different businesses and people online, and I've sent emails off and things like that. So to try to make things happen. So don't expect everything to just kind of fall into place. If you're doing self-publishing, people will not just come to you, because you really have to think of it as your product. It's a product with a business and whatnot. So you're having to sell it, you're having to market it, and hopefully get people to have reviews on it, and then kind of word of mouth. And this can all take time. Oh, someone wants to know my current read. So currently I am almost done with Crescent City. And I shared my views on that book on TikTok, but honestly, it's not my favorite Sarah J. Maas book. So if you read Sarah J. Maas, let me know what your favorite is down below. I love ACOTAR. I think that book is so well written, so well done. To me, Crescent City feels like a first draft. And there's things in that book that just make me cringe, and I get so frustrated. And I could go on and on. I could literally go on and on about that book. And the fact that it's so long is ridiculous to me. That book could have been probably half the size and have been better. So sorry to rip into Sarah J. Maas, but it's not my favorite book. I'm also halfway through Throne of Glass. I had to take a break because Heir of Fire was just my own seventh circle of hell. So I had to take a break from it, but I will be starting the next book coming up here. And then I'm also reading another fun one too. So something else that I have gotten into reading. So I'm going to finish this book first before I go back to Throne of Glass, but I'm reading Rush of Ravens by Abigail Breyer. And so I'm actually an ARC reader for her. So her book hasn't released yet, but she's another self-published author. So I put in an application to be an ARC reader. So I'm currently reading her book right now. So she has really impressed me because I am normally a reader where I feel like I can see surprises coming up and I can kind of read into them very quickly. And it's honestly kind of hard for people to pull surprises off on me. But I've actually really liked her book because I have not seen any of the twists like coming. And I'm like 200 or so pages in right now. And I absolutely love it. I love how she doesn't, and this is another thing that I have with Sarah J. Maas. This is a stipulation I have with her, is Sarah J. Maas tends to info dump a lot. Like a lot. It's like just way more beyond than what like the reader needs to know at that time. And even later on, it's information that doesn't even seem pertinent. Like, why did I need to know this certain information? It's just really weird. So, but that's what I love about Abigail's writing is she's a very good writer, and I have been like super impressed. So I'm very, very excited about that. I'll keep everybody posted like as it's coming along. So her book is actually launching June 4th. So, but I will have this book done within the next couple weeks, if anything. It won't take me that long. Someone said, no question, you're just killing it. That was really nice. So I did want to kind of address this too, because I've been getting a lot of messages and like DMs on people who are just like, I'm so impressed with how you're balancing everything out and things like that. And then I've had people even in my life tell me kind of the same thing. And while I do understand that those comments come from a very like loving place, I want people to know like the reality of my life. Like there's a lot of stress on my life right now, trying to balance everything out. This is not like rainbows and sunshine. And obviously I'm very particular of like what I choose to share on the internet. And plus we've had some other stuff going on recently, and which I may or may not share what's happened like later down the line, like once I have time to kind of process everything. So I have a lot of things going on in my life, and I kind of mentioned it a video or two back that I think if anything starts picking up with the business, then I'm going to have to like step back somewhere else, and that would be like work. So I just kind of have to see how things kind of play out. I was kind of fully anticipating not being able to step down from work for a while, because I know that building a business and that kind of stuff can take some time, which I'm totally fine to do, because this is like my dream thing. Like, this is what I want to put my heart and soul into. This is what I want. Like, I know it sounds so cliche. Like, I want this to be like my legacy. And I just want to create like children's books. I think that I would just love to do that the rest of my life. There's a lot of things going on in my life right now, so I just don't want people to think that I have everything handled all the time. I am stressed out. You just have to, I'm trying to figure things out as best as I can right now, but there's a lot going on. Okay, there's a lot. How has your husband handled you creating books? So my husband has actually been my number one cheerleader this entire time. From the moment I told him that I wanted to create a children's book, he was on board. He's like, heck yeah, I think you can do that. And so he was like my number one cheerleader. And then as things kind of developed and went along, I mean, he was like right there. He was right there next to me. He supported me this entire time. And he totally believes in the concept too. He thinks I've been able to kind of carve out a very special part of like children's literature for today, with kind of creating like modern day classics for kids. So he has been very supportive. You know, I really appreciate him and, you know, everything he's done. So I am more than lucky on that end. My kids' favorite snacks and summer activities. So we love being outside, like when it's warmer, especially the kids. I like to push them outside a lot. We have some outdoor toys for them to play with. They have like a big water table that they like to play with. They have like a little outdoor house. We tend to go on some walks. They have like scooters. They play with chalk. So my kids love being outside. Bubbles, as long as the bubble mix will last, they tend to dump it out in the grass. So that's awesome. And something that my kids can never get enough of is watermelon, which is insane. My daughter especially loves watermelon. She like absolutely loves like when it comes back into season and we can get it, because she goes nuts. And she's always been like that ever since she was a baby. She just could eat just tons of it. So my kids absolutely love watermelon. That's like their absolute favorite. They also love swimming too. We're thankful enough that a family member has a pool, and so we tend to go over to their house a lot, and we kind of have like little get-togethers, and so we have a lot of fun there. And I personally love swimming. I love swimming. I could do that all the time. I told my husband I would love to get a pool one day. That is the dream. That's the dream for me. How are you doing? So I'm doing well. I have been very stressed out lately just because I have stress coming from a lot of different areas of my life, and I'm having to put a lot of focus and energy into different areas of my life because they all require some attention. But like I kind of said earlier, I think I can kind of tell that I'm getting to the point where something has to give, like something will have to give. And because I just don't want to hit a burnout, I don't want it to like affect like my family relationships or things like that. So, I will probably have to just kind of pull back at work. I don't know when that will be. I don't know if that'll be 6 months or if more from then. But I also think too, because I've kind of talked to my husband about all this stuff, is I think I'm going to do much better once, because my daughter's going to be starting kindergarten this fall, which is crazy. I can't believe she's already starting kindergarten. But I think it'll be good to have her in school, because then that will kind of open up time for me. And so it'll allow me more time to kind of work on things. And my son will be like in preschool a couple times a week. So it'll give me these like pockets of time during the day as well to kind of work on stuff, especially for the business. And then it's going to be really exciting because then I can kind of really push stuff on the business end, and it'll open up some opportunities there. So I'm very excited about that. But yes, I'm doing okay. We've kind of been going through some stuff the last couple weeks, and I'm still kind of processing everything. So I may or may not share that in the future, kind of depending on like where I'm at or if I feel like I need to talk about it. But so as of right now, I'm doing okay. I'm managing everything right now. But yeah, it's definitely not sunshine and rainbows. I don't want people to feel like I'm putting this facade out there of me just like girl bossing it and just never having any issues and never feeling stressed. I definitely get stressed between being a mom, a wife, you know, having my kids, having the business, stuff for work, stuff with other responsibilities, you know, things like that. So yes, I have a lot going on. Oh, someone's asking about my farmer's market coming up. So I'm so excited. So I am so excited for my farmer's market. It'll be really good for me to be able to meet with people in person and being able to talk with people, and then they can see the book and the chain bookmarks and things like that in person. And so then that way people can actually like touch it and feel the quality and stuff. So I'm very excited about it. I think it's gonna be so much fun. I'm really hoping just for some good like connections, like community connections and stuff like that. So, and I think it's really cool to really kind of work within your own community as well. So just because everything's online right now, I don't want to forget about like the community area. So I will also be doing special things like for the community as well. So I'm really excited about that. Oh, okay. So someone wants to know about book 2. So if you don't know, if you are not subscribed to my email list, I definitely would. I don't send out a ton of emails. The emails I do send out are either like special behind the scenes on like book developments, do fun like recommendations or things like that. You'll get notified of like sales that I'm having like on the website as well. So if you are a subscriber of the email list, you would have gotten your email to tell you what the title is for my second book. I'm so excited. So the second book, it's still going to be a little bit before I share it across all my platforms, but the second book I'm very excited about. It's very different vibe than the Adventure of Theodore James, and it also has like a rhyming style to it. There's going to be lots of color. I'm using watercolor in it. So I'm also giving you kind of a behind the scenes here on YouTube as well on like the development of that book. So definitely another reason to subscribe. But I'm very excited about the book. I think it's coming along really well. The manuscript I have nailed, and I don't really see me making any other tweaks to it because I really wanted to make sure I had it nailed before I started the artwork. And so I think it's really cute. I'm like really, really excited. I'm about halfway done with the spreads. I'm about a little over halfway. Currently the one that I'm working on is like a full spread in color. It's one of the more important pieces of the book, so I knew it was going to take me more time. And so it's an entire field of like wildflowers, and it's a little bit impressionistic feeling, not like, I don't want to say impressionistic like Monet, but kind of has that vibe to it. But it takes lots of like layers. So it's coming along very well. I've already put, I think into that piece alone, I've put in like 4 hours, and I'm not even anywhere close to being done yet. But it's one of the 2 most important spreads in the book. So I definitely want to get it perfect. So then that way it makes the impact that I want it to make. So, but I'm very excited to everyone to see that book. All right, so that's all the time that I have today to answer some questions. If you guys have any other questions for me, definitely leave them down below or go over on Instagram. My DMs are always open for you guys. Make sure to subscribe. Throw me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. I would really appreciate it. It appeases the algorithm gods. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.